Summer fun.
Haha. Oh, I'm boring, I'm afraid. The host. I enjoy simple things. A fresh Bloody Mary, or whomever, and working on my authentic Codex Borgia while I lounge poolside. Pretty tame for this town. Well, I do have one guilty pleasure. I know, I'm not supposed to because, I'm in the biz. Ha 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 ha.
Blood oath.
I absolutely love when a hype movie bombs. Unless, of course, I'm a part of it and no one is holding a detonator. Ha 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 ha.
Casualties.
Seriously, bad reviews are like chum in the water. The frenzy that follows is divine. Some cast and crew mutiny, others defend their efforts, but the best is when people band together like hippies holding hands around a rotted tree marked for removal. They shout things like, "See the film anyway," and review system is biased. As if their boohooville singing can somehow make their shitty movie 3 times less shitty.
That's real.
Rewarding a bad dog for being bad doesn't make it a better dog, but they don't learn. Haha. Oh, I could just watch the media fallout 24/7. So much drama caused by studios that don't care enough and by fans that care too much. I just want to watch negative press with saddened fans while I eat ephedrine-laced popcorn and lick their tears of shame.
Very green.
I know what you want me to talk about. You want me to talk about the summer people declared war on their data plans, how all of the Morlocks rose from the under-earth to boost sunscreen sales and frequent local landmarks, all in a fleeting, mind-controlled effort to catch 'em all. But I will not lower myself to such cultural impotence, not while more serious misgivings are afoot. Avril Lavigne is dead, people. Someone in Brazil blew the whistle on this heinous cover-up years ago, yet we still listen to Skater Girl like everything's okay. A minor footnote in pop music has been killed by the Pepsi-Cola company. And we're all fine that her body double has taken her place. It's bad enough Pepsi employees enforced the Amazon River in patrol boats, caffeinating the river in an effort to create hyper-evolved jungle monsters. Meanwhile, Avril's body double is out there making weird music videos with questionably racist overtones about foreign pop culture icons. Avril was a punk rocker in the vein of Good Charlotte and Sum 41. Her sound was ephemeral. Yes, ephemeral, damn it! She sang about diligent consumerism of manufactured angst to the teenage demographic so she could get rich. She wouldn't sing about diligent consumerism of a foreign manufactured angst to the teenage demographic so she could get rich. That's completely ridiculous. In no way is distributing musical commercials in different markets with the same exact goal exactly the same thing.
Y'all ever been to a festival? A good festival's like a supermarket for your medical pantry. Other shoppers are pretty friendly, the sales clerks generally have good customer service skills, and if it's a really good festival, there'll be good music to enjoy while you sample the wares for quality assurance purposes. So, I'm at a really good festival, okay? Doing a little quality assurance, and I am cresting nirvana. Feeling warm and safe. You know, like you do while eating a fine diner salad drizzled with top-shelf flask gravy. When this vision of basic cable splendor emerges from the forest. I mean, she could have been Elliot from Scrubs' mother's older friend. I imagined opening her thighs like Crocodile Dundee, peering through a jungle shrub and looking up at her. She said unto me, "Are you here for T-Rex?" I said, "Are you kidding me? Electric Warrior is a fond favorite for when I visit the chill side of my medical pantry." She smiled and beckoned me to follow her. I followed the hypnotic saunter of that potent shot of moonshine into the forest. Sure enough, we come to a clearing with an outdoor stage. The forest woman shows me to a seat and tells me to show proper concert etiquette. I figure this has got to be some sort of secret T-Rex cover show, and I'm actually pretty excited. A man wearing a safari hat and a red handkerchief around his neck walked out on stage and said, as it is reenacted in the sacred tome Jurassic Park, "The T-Rex follows the red flare, and so do we. Let it not go unsaid that life, finds a way." Everyone around me stood up, held hands, and started humming the John Williams score to Jurassic Park. It was then I understood why most of the folks there were dressed like park rangers. That, my friends, was a really good festival. I was able to restock my medical pantry, and I found out why Emmeline said 4 Dr. Grants and 1 Dr. Malcolm after I called her a clever girl for figuring out how to get my last cigarette out of a patient at the clinic using a piece of chewing gum.
Senor Crouts and the Foliage hike the trail.
How about a yawn, Senor Crouts?
Sure. How about the tale of Rip Van Winkle?
Ah, a classic.
Okay, so there's this guy, his name is Rip, right?
Van Winkle.
Yep. Everybody loved him. He'd spend many hours getting tanked on tankards of ale at the inn with his fellow townsfolk. Even that judgmental schoolmarm Hecula enjoyed Rip's company.
Every town's got one.
Yeah, I agree. Children also loved Rip, and Rip was known to be a seasoned yarn spinner in his own right.
You're in good company, Senor Crouts.
So Rip's fondness for good people and good drink meant that Rip was a bit of a slacker around the homestead.
Ah, the dark side of fame.
So one day, Rip left the coffee maker on the stove. And that was kind of his wife, Lydia's thing.
Lydia?
Yeah, Lydia, the Dame Van Winkle.
All right, then.
So Lydia threw a fit. She said, "I've told you 1,000 times to rinse out that coffee maker when you're done using it." And Rip was no stranger to this routine, so he attempts to charm and diffuse the situation. He says, Lydia, it was an honest mistake, babe. I won't happen again. I love you." But Lydia wasn't having any of it. "You're a no-good backgammon player," she said. Now, Rip took that kind of personal. He shouted right back at her, "You know that I'm a backgammon player. We played together just last night." And that stuck Lydia, the Dame Van Winkle's craw something fierce. In the heat of rage, she threw the coffee maker across the house and struck Jeff the talking mongoose. Rip, then steeled himself and he spoke cautiously. "Woman," he said, "I see you've come down with a spell of the prairie madness. I'm taking my pipe and the dog for some pensive forest walking." But this didn't help the situation at all. You see, Lydia's eyes turned white. She shouted, "Kamehameha!" and summoned a fireball. Rip and the dog barely made it out the front door before it was turned to ash.
Washington Irving wrote that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not the end yet, I guess. I don't know. He meets some ghost pirates in the forest. He drinks some of their ghost moonshine. He watches ghost pirates play some frames of ghost bowling or something like that. He falls asleep eventually, and then he wakes up, appreciates his glorious beard, and then he goes back home to his town, and he finds out that it's 20 years later, and he now lives in a new country, and his son kept his name.
I have chills. That was like an episode of Masterpiece Theater.
Thank you. I like to consider myself a raconteur.
I feel kind of bad for Jeff.
Don't feel bad. Jeff liked to play backgammon too.
Once again, the truth diminishes the myth.
That it does.
I would like to know more about the ghost pirates, but, you know.
Oh, the ghost pirates were my favorite part growing up.